Hey everybody, I'm live. It's John Hope Bryant. So I'm in Detroit. I'm on a different time zone, and a lot of folks won't catch this live because some people are asleep. But if you are on the West Coast, you can catch it now, and then tomorrow you can watch it on replay. Add your comments below if you are able to sign in now, and I will respond to you directly. This is going to be a very combustible presentation. I'm sure I'll get a lot of comments on this. I'm John Hope Bryant. I'm founder, chairman, and chief executive officer of Operation Hope. I'm also an entrepreneur. I'm basically an entrepreneur and a businessman. I was homeless for 6 months of my life, just to put this out there so everybody knows where I'm coming from. I was homeless for 6 months of my life when I was 18 years old. I grew up in Compton, California, in South Central Los Angeles, so no silver spoon in my mouth. Families hustled and came from the South, moved to California, where I was born. We built something out of nothing. We lost it, built it back. My mom and dad had a divorce. We moved to Compton, California, where I lived with my mom and sister until I was able to, go to get a financial literacy course when I was 9 years old. In my school, they don't teach it anymore. It's called home economics. Some of you remember that. And a banker came in my classroom when I was 9 years old and taught financial literacy. And I remember asking the banker, what do you do for a living? And how'd you get rich legally? And I was serious. Nobody in my neighborhood wore suits. Nobody in my neighborhood had business cards. Nobody. The people who I knew who were so-called successful were gangsters and drug dealers. And there was a guy that owned a liquor store in the corner, but I knew him, but I didn't. And my dad was a business owner, and thank God I knew him, and that's was sort of my principal role model. But I didn't really have in Compton, California, a lot of sense of who a small business person was. I didn't know what the word entrepreneur even meant. So I asked this guy, what do you do for a living, and how do you get rich legally? And he said, I'm a banker. He happened to be Caucasian, by the way, just to be clear. He was a banker from Bank of America teaching a financial literacy course. He was Caucasian. As far as I was concerned, he was green, as in the color of U.S. currency. I was like, man, you look like a dollar bill. What do you do? He said, I'm a banker and I finance entrepreneurs. I said, man, I don't know what an entrepreneur is, but if you're financing them, I'm going to be one. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be an entrepreneur. And I got focused. I got obsessively focused on figuring out. I went and looked the word up in the dictionary. I went to my library, had a library card, and I wanted freedom. What does this stand for here? That's Nelson Mandela's prison number. It's 46664. 46664. That's Nelson Mandela's prison number. Wear it every day. He fought for our freedom. Dr. King fought for our freedom. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. fought for our freedom. Malcolm X fought for our freedom. Dr. Haidt, Dorothy Haidt fought for our freedom. Coretta Scott King fought for our freedom. And I wear this every day to remind me of that, right? My mother and dad fought for our freedom. My mother left the South and dad left the South and my mom to give me a better life. And so I'm here in Compton, California, and this dude was unpacking capitalism and free enterprise. I'm like, I want to understand how this game is played. I want to unpack the game of power and repack it with poor people in mind. That's what I want to do, and empower my people. And so he said, I'm a banker and I finance entrepreneurs. I went and figured out what an entrepreneur was. I literally looked it up in the dictionary. Started my first business when I was 10 years old. That happened when I was 9. And make a long story short, maybe I'll do a separate video on that if you want me to. You can write it down. You can comment on that if you want me to. I'll do a video to unpack that whole experience. And I made $300 a week. It's a long story short, and put the liquor store out of the candy business when I was 10 years old. Made $300 a week legally, and put the liquor store out of the candy business. Now, I'm about to get into a really deep topic here, by the way, so I'm just setting it up just so nobody so people understand where I'm coming from, and there's no excuses for why we can't have this conversation. So that's me. Check that box, right? So that's my background. No silver spoon. That's where I came from. Just real talk, right? And this is where I learned. I'm an entrepreneur today because my daddy was a businessman. My mother told me she loved me every day of my life, and I got that financial literacy course, and I did something with it to set myself free. I really believe today that freedom is self-determination. You can't self-determine yourself, at least in the modern world, unless you understand free enterprise and capitalism. Andrew Young once said, who was Dr. King's aide in the civil rights movement, To live in a system of free enterprise and not to understand the rules of free enterprise must be the very definition of slavery. I'm going to repeat that. To live in a system of free enterprise. I see the people commenting and adding in, hey, Damian Wallace, my relative through my family, through my wife's family. How you doing? Bridget, hello. So I'll come back to those questions. I'll make sure that I respond to every question before I wrap up. To live in a system of free enterprise and not to understand the rules of free enterprise must be the very definition of slavery. That's why I think the Freedmen's Bank story is so important. So I keep talking about that. Go back and watch that video, please. So why I unpack that. And I'm about to explain to you why the attitude I keep focusing on is so important and all these things. Okay, now, so I've talked about my background. I've talked about I'm an entrepreneur. I didn't mention it, but I'm a philanthropic entrepreneur. So we've directed $2 billion plus in underserved neighborhoods through Operation Hope, raised it from our rich friends and directed it to inner city and underserved neighborhoods to set ourselves free. And I'm hoping to raise another $8 million over the next 5 years to light up these neighborhoods with 1,000 locations, Hope Inside locations, etc. Right? So go back and watch the Freedmen's Bank video. Go back to watch a couple of the other videos. Tell your friends and, to subscribe to this channel. We've had 3.5 million views so far. It's all free. There's live streaming. It's free. I'm not asking you to buy anything, right? And if you're interested, read the books I wrote. One is called How the Poor Can Save Capitalism. Okay, so now let me hit this thing straight. I put a pretty provocative topic out today. I said explaining the American conspiracy. And why do I put that? Because every time I do one of these videos, like the one I did earlier today, somebody will write, and this person was very intelligent this time, this is an American conspiracy. You can't win. It's all stacked against you. Or I get, the more provocative dudes, and he's always the same dude. It's, high school education. It's never, and everybody college educated says this to me. It's high school education. It appears no job or not gainfully employed, sort of outside of the bandwidth of success. Who's calling me all kind of strange things because I'm trying to unpack the game, and I guess I'm messing with their reality and removing the excuse of why they can't succeed. So they're going to attack me. Okay, it's fine. It's okay if you don't like me. I like me. It's cool. You wanna attack me? Knock yourself out. I mean, if Dr. King once said, if you don't know what you want to die for, you're unfit to live. You want to try to attack my reputation? The $2 billion we've directed to underserved neighborhoods, the 2 million people we've helped serve. It's very simple for me. I like what I'm doing much better than what you're not doing. How many people have you put in the homes? How many people have you put into small businesses? So I'm real cool on my legacy and what I've done, and my, our system is working. How's your system going? This is for the folks who want to be critics for a living. All right, so let's put that aside. Now let me hit this straight. So all these folks talking about and these are, I hate to say this, it's my people. These are black folks who are angry, pissed off at the system. This is racism. This is oppression. We got the man's got his hand on our neck. This is all set up, right? Okay, let me deal with this directly. The American conspiracy. Yes, there is an American conspiracy. I'm on record. I've said it. Yes, tell all your friends. There is not just one American conspiracy. There's a dozen American conspiracies. There's 3 dozen American conspiracies, right? So let me unpack the biggest one. The biggest American conspiracy is that this country really only rewards success. This is the biggest conspiracy. This country, what's the phrase for this? The founders of this country, the land of opportunity. Now some people are like, oh man, this ain't no land of opportunity. I'm not saying what you think about it. I'm not saying how they treated slaves, which was horrible. It was like the biggest stain on America is this slavery piece, which you have every reason to be radically upset about. We're waiting for this to reconnect. So life is 10% what life does to you, and 90% how you choose to respond to it. So I'm not saying that slavery didn't exist. Of course it exists. I'm not saying it wasn't horrible. Of course it was horrible. But how you respond to that is everything. So what are you gonna do about it? Be angry for another 400 years about it, and then get off the playing field of success? So this is the land of opportunity. All right. So this is literally every immigrant in the world. This is the only nation in the world with every immigrant in the world who came here by plane, train, automobile, boat, Poland, Ireland. They're getting their rear end kicked. in Ireland, getting their rear end kicked, in Italy, getting their rear end kicked, Jews and all these folks moved here because they were being oppressed someplace else. But these are high energy people. These are people who came from all parts of the world wanting one thing, a dream. So you have type A personalities coming here. I mean, basically, the only people who are indigenous to America were Native American Indians. Everybody else is a vagabond. So we're a nation of immigrants. So these are high energy type A personalities who came here to win. So yes, it is a conspiracy of a country obsessed with winning. They like winners and they hate losers. They hate people who, so I'm not talking about the elderly or the infirmed or those people who have disabled. We should be taking care of all those people. But if you're able-bodied, you can get a job. You can take care of your family. You can work. This country has no sympathy for you if you're not doing everything you can to win. They will penalize you every step of the way if they think that you can't win and you have every capacity to. Now, somebody said, "Oh man, okay, here we go, slavery." Okay, hold on. What about the Ethiopians? They're black. I did this in a video. What about the Nigerians? They're black. What about the folks from the Caribbean islands? They're black. They come here, hit it. They take care of business around and over through the obstacles. 10 years later, they got an Uber franchise. They got all their boys working in the hotels with them. They got all their boys working in the parking lot. Then they own the parking lot. Okay, I mean, everybody's my Ethiopian friends in D.C. control the taxi business. Okay, they're black, just like us. So if it's racism and it's just about the color of our skin, why are they winning and we're not? I'm sure somebody's going to have some smart rear end response about why there's some, but it doesn't even make any sense. If it's just race, then they should be losing too. But they come here, we've been here longer than them, they come here and in 2, 3, 4, 5 years, they got a home, they got a business, they are hustling. So yeah, racism is here, but what are you doing in response to it? Sitting around and complaining about it, or over it, around it, through it? I'm going to get to it. And that's all I'm trying to do is to help you win. I'm trying to help you figure out how to win. So conspiracy number 1, yes, this is not Canada, which is a quasi-socialist situation. One day I'm going to do a Canada versus America analysis to help you understand the difference between the two structures. But Canada does not have the economic growth that we have, by the way. Canada has a health system for all, but you got to wait 6 months to get an appointment. You may be dead by then. You know what people do when they really want superior health care in Canada? They fly to the U.S. Canada has great education for everybody. It's free for everybody. Universities is free for everybody. Fantastic. But when people want to go to the best universities in the world, they fly to the United States. So yes, Canada is a great system, but it's a different system than the U.S. If you don't like the U.S. system of a system that is obsessed with winners, you need to leave. You need to get on a plane and leave. Stop complaining about it. Just go. I don't see any of my friends leaving. Everybody's complaining. I don't see anybody from leaving. So So let's now switch to positive conspiracies. Right? Here's a conspiracy for you. I conspired to found Operation Hope. I did. It was a conspiracy. I got together with a few people and said, you know what? I'm tired of this poverty thing. I want to reimagine how we do this thing. In 1992, got a bankers on a bus tour, did a bankers bus tour through South Central LA. I didn't listen to the naysayers, the people who said it couldn't be done. And we rebuilt a pharmacy at 43rd and Western, Handler's Pharmacy. When people were talking about rebuilding, we went and rebuilt. And my first budget was $61,000, had one employee. Now we've directed $2.5 billion in underserved neighborhoods. And now we have built enough prominence where people want to play or hate me as if I'm establishment and I was the 26-year-old dude who started from nothing, who was the outlier in 1992. This is just hilarious to me. The outlier is now the establishment. I guess it's a compliment. So that was a conspiracy. Do you know the NAACP founded was a conspiracy? It was a group of people got together and said, we got to do this. And by the way, do you know the NAACP was founded by black people and white people together? So talk to me about that. The Urban League, the National Urban League, which has helped countless black people and brown people get jobs and opportunity, was founded by blacks in conspiracy with whites. Yes, that is the truth. Go do your research for yourself. There are tons of conspiracies. Here's a big conspiracy for you. This is the biggest one. 90% of all jobs in America, 92% of all jobs in America are private sector jobs. 90% of those jobs are small business jobs. So all job growth in America, small businesses, entrepreneurs shoot ups in years 3 through year 7. That's where. So think about your week. You go to a nail salon, you know, ladies. Yes, no. I just went and got my manicure done. It was like 6 people working there. All right. When you got a haircut, brothers. So what? 4 people working in the barber shop. You went to go to a dentist. I hope there's what 2, 3, 4 people working in the dentist's office. Think about your week. Go to a restaurant where there's 20 people working there. Look, it's small businesses all around you. So the capitalist that you hate is your next door neighbor. It's the guy or the woman trying to start a little shop or a little nail shop or whatever to take care of their family and their responsibility, try to build some wealth, send their kid to college, go to vacation once or twice a year. That's capitalism. I'm going to do a whole piece on where jobs comes from. So I'm going to break this thing down with statistically in numbers and show you 90%. Let me put it another way. Half of all jobs in America are 100 employees or less. 70% of all jobs in America are 500 employees or less. There's only 10,000 companies. Sorry, there's only 974 companies that even employ 10,000 people or more. And you can name them, like Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Google, Facebook. You can name them, and they're hiring. The people who are hiring are the small businesses and entrepreneurs, people like me, that somebody's saying is an interesting thing. All right? I'm your best hope. Me and all the folks in the neighborhood who could be creating jobs. We need to be creating more entrepreneurs. There's a Steve Jobs in every corner here in Detroit or the south side of Chicago, whatever. So, yeah, that's the biggest conspiracy, and we need to be trying to get into that conspiracy. That's something we actually can do. That's something we can control. That's something we can create and own for ourselves. So, yeah, there is a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy against dumb people, stupid people, folks who don't want to go to school, folks who want to sit on their hands, folks who want to be lazy, don't want to take care of their kids, don't want to talk about you mama. This was his daddy's, this my daddy's baby. What's that phrase? Daddy's baby. Mama's. It's not, in other words, the opposite of mother and father. It used to be when I grew up, it was, that's my daddy. That's my child. I'm a mother or a father. Now we don't even claim the kid. Oh, I'm a baby's dad. That's it. I'm a baby's daddy. What? Well, baby daddy, mommy, what? No, you're a mother or you're a father. What do you think that makes how do you think the kid feels saying that's my baby daddy? I mean, so here's what differentiates African Americans from everybody else. 250 years of slavery, 100 years of Jim Crow, ending in our lifetime. The only people enslaved on American soil in this way. I think that, and that happened by 1970. It wasn't 1870, it was 1970. So it's like yesterday. I think that means that 70% of black Americans are clinically undiagnosed depressed. And it's not our fault. I think that white folks would be crazy. I think Latinos would be crazy. Asians would be crazy. Anybody would be crazy who went through that situation. So I understand. I don't tax brothers who come and want to attack me. I don't want people. It's just pain. Hurt people hurt people. You coming at me, you don't even know me, so you can't be mad at me. You're mad at yourself. You're mad at your failure. You're mad at your lack of ambition. You're mad at what you're not doing, and you think that somebody's got their foot on your neck. No. Real poverty. There's a difference between being broke and being poor. Being broke is economic, yes, but being poor is a disabling frame of mind, a depressed condition of our spirit, and we must vow never to be poor again. What did my pastor, Reverend Murray, said? It's not what people call you, it's what you answer to that's important. So never answer out of your name. And to argue with a fool proves there are two. I said, if you don't care, it's okay if you don't like me, I like me. If I don't like me, I'm not going to like you. If I don't love me, I'm not going to love you. If I don't respect me, I'm not going to respect you. If I don't feel good about me, I'm not going to feel good about you. And here's the big one. If I don't have a purpose in my life, I'm going to make your life a living hell. Whatever goes around, comes around. So the only thing that differentiates the angry brother from African-American brother who, versus listening to me and trying to figure out, understand, I'm trying to help him unpack this game and then get with it and figure out how he can take that drug skill of selling drugs and flip it into being a legitimate entrepreneur. Or the only reason that the brother who's in prison, well, the brother in prison probably would listen to me because they're actually sitting in jail and actually getting some wisdom and thinking and calming down from all that anger. A lot of people in prison have just sort of mellowed. They're like, okay, how do I get my life straight, right? I think that if you're in the penal system, you can come out and become a great entrepreneur. You become a great moral. Malcolm X came out of prison and became a great moral leader, one of the best of our times. So you can always redeem yourself, and you may not be able to get a job in these big companies, but you can have a criminal background and come out and become an extraordinary entrepreneur and have the respect of your peers, your community, and get people and hire people in your neighborhood and take your life back. I mean, I can't underscore this enough. Our opportunity is entrepreneurship, small business ownership. Stop being angry and start getting even. Let's put aside all this drama. It's not doing. I tell people get angry. I'm like, is that working for you? I doubt it, because nobody wants to be around a negative person. Nobody wants to be around somebody whining and complaining all the time. Nobody wants to feel that if they hire you, you're going to be picketing in their front lobby tomorrow, right? Show up and do a job and shut your mouth, or go create a job and open your mouth. But stop running your mouth if you're not going to do something to advance the open mouths, the hungry mouths in your family and on your block and in your neighborhood. Yeah, I said it. PhDs are good, PhDs are better. Like I said, I like what I'm doing much better than other people are not doing. And no, I'm not angry. I'm somewhere between passionate and pissed. I'm passionate about my people. I'm passionate about our potential. And I'm pissed off that we keep wasting all this time complaining, whining, and saying that the boogeyman is the reason we can't be successful. Yes, it is hard out here. Yes, no one's going to cut you a break. In fact, let me say this. In Dr. King's day, the issue was love or hate. People either said they loved you or they hate you. President Obama started giving everybody a black pass for a while. You still think that you're relevant because you have a black president. He's going to be out of office in a week, and we're going to be towed up because we have no strategy and no plan. We didn't spend 8 years trying to figure out how to create jobs and economic opportunity for ourselves and a business plan. No, we just venting. We're just telling everybody how angry we are. Oh, it's injustice and picketing and protesting. And when he's gone, here's what you're going to find. It's not love or hate anymore. It's radical indifference. People don't care enough about you to hate you anymore. Private communities, private schools, private roads, private homes, private security, private islands. People are like, hey, whatever, whatever. You're angry, you're upset. Look, the new majority population by merit is Latino, it's not black. So what you gonna do now? So not in vogue. It will soon not be in vogue to just complain. We cannot be black for a living anymore, and we shouldn't. Look, we have got to move forward. Yes, absorb our pain. Never again slavery. Never again. And yes, the society owes a debt to the African American community. We built this country for free. But in the short term, while we're trying to negotiate whatever fairness we should get out of society and making sure that these laws that get us packed into prison unfairly, because that's a whole nother industry we need to level out. The penal system is completely unfair. The criminal justice system is completely unfair. There's 3 strike things. You can get a third strike in 30 years for like something, an infraction like smoking marijuana, which I don't do. But I mean, that is crazy. So that is something that needs to be attacked, right? So let's attack it. But like the Jewish community say, they say never again, and then they say let's aspire. Never again, the Holocaust, but let's aspire. So they make the playing field level by owning the playing field. So don't get mad that the flag is fluttering a Confederate flag. Own the flagpole. Own the land underneath it, and then tell them that you're not flying the flagpole of that flag on land that you own. End of subject. Go buy yourself a house, not some Nike tennis shoes. Go buy yourself some stock for your kids, not another Nintendo that's going to break in a week. Let's stop all this drama and get a job. If you can't get a job, create a job. Let's take our lives back. Aren't you sick and tired of being sick and tired? Aren't you? I am, and I mean, aren't we all tired of the definition of insanity? And I'm going to deal with some questions. It's doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome. Am I saying the American system is perfect? No, it's imperfect. There is no perfect. Where is it perfect? You find perfect. I'll wait. You tell me the nation that's perfect, and then I'll give you a passport. I hope you get a plane ticket. You go there. There is no perfect. You got to start where you stand and make this nation sing its constitutional truth. Force it to live up to its Bill of Rights and its Constitution and what it promised you, which is to be a land of opportunity for all. That's what I'm trying to do by giving you the information straight, so that you can then go in straight and demand to become a homeowner, demand to become a small business owner, demand to become an entrepreneur, demand your seat at the table without getting angry. No, keep it. When you got the power, you don't need to use it. So let's try a new conspiracy. It's called success. Because as Jeff Van Jones said, the best way to stop a bullet is a job. So yeah, I just unpacked and explained at least a dozen American conspiracies. Let's focus on a positive one, the conspiracy of hope and opportunity and aspiration, because no one wants to deal with a complainer and a whiner all the dang time. You don't even want to deal with them yourself. Do you? Tell me. Do you? Nobody wants to deal with somebody complaining and whining and arguing and negative all the time. We don't even want it in our own family. It's just negative energy. So let's take our lives back. Call Operation Hope. Don't call. Go online to Operation Hope, figure out what we do, and then find a class that's near you and go take the class. Raise your credit score, all right, so nobody can turn you down for a loan. Go get your earned income tax credits. You got some money to start a business. Crowdfund if you can't, get your EITC. Crowdfunding your small business. Or start with something that requires a low level of capital. You can get to become a mobile notary with $36. A mobile notary stamp. Brother in my book makes $17,000 a year doing that. Sell Avon. Do something. I don't care. Do something. All right? That's my motto. Do something. Get your dignity back. Right? What did Dr. King say? A man can't stand on your back unless you bent over. A man can't stand on your back unless you bent over. Put your back up. Put your shoulders back. You don't want a handout. You want a hand up. That's it. That's all we need is a chance to do for ourselves. I want to teach you how to fish. I'll give you a fish if you're hungry. Okay, Krishna, your passion is unbelievable. I think thank you. Excellent program, Project Hope. It's actually Operation Hope, Ebony, but thank you. Success, job, promise. Like my grandchildren used to say, you sound good. Thank you. Travis, Romar, Janetta, Jackson. This has been a longer session than normal. This is a very important message from me. I hope that you like it. By the way, some people ask me, what is the stuff on my hands? This is prayer beads from Saudi Arabia. It's a peaceful religion. Islam is a peaceful religion. These nutcases and ISIS have hijacked it, but this is a peaceful religion, okay? Just to be clear, this is Mandela's prison number. These are all the religions in the world, all of them. That's Islam, Christianity, Buddhism, Judaism, and Hinduism. And Jesus Christ is mentioned in all of these books of higher thought. So it just shows we're all in this together. This is a beautiful bead bracelet from Africa. It's a Maasai tribe in Kenya. I've been to 14 African countries, and I wear this with me wherever I go. Our children need hope. Well, that's what I'm trying to instill. We got to talk to them straight, though. I'm trying my best to make opportunities for my friends and my people. That's Willie Usher. Yes, it's hard, but we got to keep pushing my people. Yes, and we got to be honest about what's going on and what's not. Krishna, and the Jewish community will never allow you, the world, to regret I think she says to redo the Holocaust. They're absolutely so. And so again, I'm not saying or, I'm saying and. We got to remember our past and make sure nobody replays it. We also can't be so obsessed with it. We're not focusing on our future. We got to become experts in what we are against, not what we are for. And our product, our brand as black people is becoming complainers, not as producers. And we've got to produce something. Otherwise, we're irrelevant. Ebony and Joseph James, Lewis, Charles Miller says I'm weak. Or says something weak. I guess that's me. Who knows? These I'm weak. These welcome to his opinion. Maybe it's a signals weak. Joe Wright, thank you, brother. Thank you. Damien, success. James Joseph Demand. Damien says home ownership. Yep. I'd love for you to speak to my Gambian brothers and sisters on how to free ourselves from tyranny. Okay. I'd love to come to Gabon. Send a note to my office. Cedric McAllister, I need your help. I'm in my hometown, Adele, in Georgia. Almost half of my African classmates are truck drivers. I feel that if we come together, we can start our own company that could create more jobs. Yes, Cedric, I love that. Please reach out to Luis Negron, who runs my Atlanta office. I love that. Truck drivers want to start their own trucking company. That's what I'm talking about. Margarita Nixon says, yes! Okay. So it looks like there's some positive thoughts to what I thought that this was a pretty provocative tape today. I was really prepared for people to reject it, but it looks like there's a lot of positive affirmation for it, which is cool.
Tell the truth. Charles Miller says, tell the truth. White guilt kept President Obama in for both terms. That's done. Guilt done. Now what? I'm not. I mean, I was just repeating what he said. I think that actually a great deal of African Americans got him elected, along with others. Right. By the way, so it wasn't just anybody's guilt. Ebony Young, we went from chains on our hands to chains on our mind. Oh my God, that's true. Brandon Rice, Vondria Brown. I wish the negative people could open their minds, get out of the box, be positive. You and me both. Shandera, Vondra, Eric, Ballard, brilliant. I wish all brothers could hear this. Well, I'm going to try to make sure the message get around. The last video I did like this got 400,000 views. One's called Modern Slavery, so hopefully this one gets around like that. Okay, so I think I should wrap this up. I'll do some of these comments offline. I hope you found this helpful. I love you much. I'm trying to come at you unbossed, unbiased. I'm not a politician. I'm not running for office. I don't want nothing from you. If you want to buy my books, if they, buy them. If you don't want to buy my books, don't buy them. I'm good. I'm good. I don't want nothing from you. I just want you to win. It's called the Civil Rights Movement. This is straight talk. I'm John Hope Bryant, and yes, this is live. I'm talking to you live, and you can see I'm answering your questions straight. I'm going to see if there's any final comment. My plans is to open a halfway home for brothers coming out of the prison system. Michael Fletcher, bravo. Jay Anderson, starting training, and now have 3 trainers alongside with me. It's small leaps, but they're coming. Bravo. Eric Mitchell, success. We love the positive vibes. Lewis, what is my address in Atlanta? Go to Ebenezer Church, Dr. King's Church, is where our Hope Inside is in Atlanta. Chandra Bailey, I enjoy every session. Thank you. Any ideas on a startup business under $1,000? Yeah, there's a lot of Avon and all these multi-level marketing businesses. You can start a notary business. You can start a candy house. Well, that's if your kid's a candy house. You can do handicrafts. But frankly, you can become certified as a Microsoft technician for under $1,000, an Apple technician. You can start become a plumber, become an electrician, get certified at a community college for well under $1,000. All that pays upwards of the high 7 figures, and even sometimes up $100,000 a year or more. We're going to always need skilled laborers, folks. Plumbers, electricians, carpenters. That stuff is not going. I mean, Jesus was a carpenter. That stuff is not going out of vogue. So get yourself a skill that is marketable, and people will hire you. Folks not concerned whether you're white, black, red, brown, or yellow. They want to know, can you help them produce some green or save some green? Can you do something productive to help them? And then the race becomes a secondary issue. I promise you. Folks not giving me $1 million checks because they distrust me. They give me $1 million checks because they trust me, right? And I'm black. Okay, I came from the hood. So, all right. Love you much, and I'll talk to you later. I'm out. This is Silver Right Straight Talk. Tell all your friends to sign up and join me. This is a movement. It starts with you. Peace.